Okay, super heat number 2 for the junior category. Midday here at Lonato. The temperature, yeah, we may be a little bit obsessed by it, but after years gone by where it's been freezing cold, we're so thankful to have a beautiful top of 16 degrees. We're 1 degree off that as we take a look at the junior grid. That was Thomas Tembrinke on the outside of the front row. Andrei Zhivnov. There are the mini drivers, the mini rock drivers. They're preparing well in advance for their superheat. Nikola Zolov in the middle of your screen. We'll see him in action in a few moments' time. All ready to go, even though his mini rock superheat is still some 20 minutes away. You must admire the enthusiasm of the young kids, the Bulgarian. But first up, superheat number 2. The carts are pushed into life. For the junior category, it's the Irishman Alex Dunn to start out of pole position. Alongside TTB, Thomas Tembrinke, the Dutchman, on grid number 2. So the Irishman, the Dutchman. Alfio Spina, il primo italiano, il siciliano, dalla seconda fila. 362, Team Cut Republic. First Italian is Spinner alongside the Russian Andrei Zhivnov. Jamie Day from the Emirates. Superb run this weekend. The Emirati from Dubai starts alongside Lorenzo Patrese. Pepe Marti, Robert Dehaan, another Dutchman, Artem Severukian, Philip Victorson. Axel Malja, Arvid Lindblad. There's the Brit, Six Nellis, Indra Pulvasak. One of a few tight drivers racing here. Nacho Tunon from Asturias in northern Spain. First ever junior race. Starts alongside the Welshman Matthew Rees. So we're in the control of the Irishman. Under the control of the Irishman. The pole set, whatever the situation may be, it is Alex Dunn who sets the pace here in the 3.52 Forza Racing X3. 15 laps. Antonelli wins superheat number 1. And in 16 laps time, we'll find out who wins superheat number 2. 16 laps counting this formation lap. It is a 15-lap race, but we go around one more time. Another formation lap. Alex Dunn, Thomas Tembrinke, the front row of the grid, the Irishman, the Dutchman, the Italian and the Russian. That's the front 2 rows of the grid. Jamie Day, the Emirati, a superb run in the heats. The Vortex-powered Esprit. And Lorenzo Patrese steps up to the plate this weekend. Il Padovano, 331. Dalla terza fila. They cut through the back part of the circuit onto the straight. Dunn leads them up to the line and we go green early. Alex does hold the lead, the gutsy young Irishman, down into turns number 2 and 3 for the first time in superheat number 2 for the OK Junior category. Good start by Alfio Spina. The Italian already up into second place. Andrei Zhivnov has lost out badly. The Russian has fallen back through the field. They're 3 wide going up the hill. And coming down, it is Alex Dunn, the early race leader. Alfio Spina slots into second place. Already up into position number 3. First of the Ricky Flynn Motorsport carts. They'll be here in force. That's Thomas Tembrinke. Jamie Day right behind him. He might put it down the inside. He's too far back. They come across the line and it is Alex Dunn who leads lap number 1 of the superheat for the junior category. Pepe Marti, a sensational start for the Spaniard. He goes P5 ahead of Zhivnov. Patrese back to 7th, losing a place off the start. But the young Italian settles in, ahead of Artem Severukin, the Russian, Philip Victorson, and the Brit, Arvid Lindblad. So Arvid, the first British driver in this field. The Irishman, though, he's the race leader, and they're starting to bank up behind him. Move down the inside, Artem Severukin takes Lorenzo Patrese. Nice move by the Russian on the Italian for Ward Racing. Just ahead of him, another Russian, Andrei Zhivnov in the Cosmic Racing Department entry. Defensive down the inside was Thomas Temprinke. He's got Jamie Day breathing down his neck. They race across the line. The problem for Jamie Day, he can't make the move on Alfio Spinner. He'll have Pepe Marti making the move on him. The Spaniard, a sensational start in the Vortex Tony Kart. They go down into the pit hairpin. The field settles down. They've completed 2. This is lap number 3. Further back in the field, Brando Badoer, Elliot Veyron, Oscar Pedersen, Eduardo Trifone. They make their way up the infield part of the circuit now as the leaders go back into the far part of the circuit here at this legendary track we know as South Garda Karting, south of Lago di Garda in northern Italy. So Temprinke moves into second place. Alex still has the race lead over Thomas. Jamie has now got by. Day into third. Pepe Marti also takes advantage. Spinner, he's fallen back to 5th. Alfio Spinner in the next in line to take him is the Russian Artem Severukian. Doesn't make a move on the Italian that time, does Artem. Right behind Alfio. Then it is Victor Cern. Patrese falls back to 9th. And Arvid Lindblad rounds out the top 10. 3-second penalty board is about to be displayed for Kaja Sixnelis, the Lithuanian, who's circulating way down the field, so it's not going to have a real effect on the results. As the leaders come across the line one more time. Jamie Day goes through and takes Alex Dunn. The Irishman, the early race leader, has fallen back to position number 3 as one of the Cosmic Karts has gone round. That's Axel Malya at the hairpin. They all go round the wide line and avoid Axel. But the Swede walks away from his kart dejected, and he'll get 0 points from this one. He was in position number 15 ahead of his countryman William Carlson. And Nacho Tunon, the Spaniard that we spoke about, Robert Tahan, the Dutchman behind him, Elliot Veyron, Bartek Pikotowski, Badoer, Bergmeister, Lucas Pons, Caspian Hagman, and Axel Malya falls down the timing screens as Alex Dunn also falls down the order. The Forza Racing driver from pole position falling down through the field, and he's almost hit by the back, hit in the back by the Russian in the Cosmic Kart. That's Andrei Zhivnov. Does avoid the Irishman. And they continue on. So the race leader is Thomas Temprinke. Can he take the fight up to Andrea Antonelli in the final? Ricky Flynn Motorsport, well, they'll be scratching their head, saying how can they catch the young Italian? Their boy leads the race here today. But if anyone can do it, it will be the 3-time World Championship winning team. The yellow flag comes out. A final corner incident between Pepe Marti and Lorenzo Patrese. The Spaniard and the Italian fall down the order. They were running inside the top 10. Everyone else moves up a spot. So Patrese and Pepe Marti, their race effectively comes to an end right there. Patrese does restart. He punches the air. He's furious. That is the reason why. So we go back to the front. Thomas Temprinke from Jamie Day from the Dubai Autodrome or Kartdrome circuit. The Emirati in the X-Spree powered by the Vortex. Impressive this weekend. Fastest lap of the race for Arvid Lindblad in a virtually identical X-Spree kart, although Arvid with the TM engine for the Forza Racing team. Jamie Day for the Lennox Racing team with the Vortex. And a 48.926, so they're about 3 or 4 tenths. Still off the time set by Antonelli, but there's still 6.5 laps remain. As you look at the Ward Racing karts on screen, Victorson in P6 from Sweden, Artem Severukian, the Russian in P7 ahead of Lindblad, Matthew Rees, the Welshman, and Luca Lystra in the RS kart, the red kart, going through the hairpin now at the bottom of your screen. Absolutely superbly presented. The RS Kart team, and he's now inside the top 10, so it's quick as well. Kaya Sixnelis, the Lithuanian, sits behind the German, but remember, he's got a 3-second penalty. So he'll fall down the order effectively. It puts him in about 18th position in the race, in the overall classification, as Jamie Day gently works the steering wheel. The driver from Dubai. You got a glimpse of one of the karts in the background that is already out. Karol Pashovic, 389. The Luxor kart is a retirement. Along with Matias Ferreira, unlucky for the Brazilian. So 6 laps now remaining in superheat number 2 for the junior category. Antonelli watches on from pit lane, and he's probably thinking to himself, in all humility, I don't think any of you can catch me. The Italian was lapping some 0.3 of a second faster than the pace in this superheat number 2. That was Pashovic's Luxor kart in the background of the screen there. The pole is out. Thomas Tembrinke, the race leader, his last lap, a 48.9. That's some 3 or 4 tenths of a second slower than Antonelli, who set string of fastest laps in superheat number 1. Antonelli will line up undoubtedly on the front row of the grid for the final. And Thomas Tembrinke, the Dutchman, the son of Bernard Tembrinke, the Dakar Rally legend, leads superheat number 2 from Jamie Day. Alfio Spinner recovers into 3rd spot, does the young Sicilian, and the Russian Andrei Zivnov. Victorson, Alex Dunn, the pole sitter, the early race leader, has fallen back to 6th position, the Forza Racing Team entry. There's Luca Leistra going through. And of Kaya Sixnelis, the red kart, you cannot miss. The German RS karts, they just look superb. And they're quick as well. Luca Leistra now inside the top 10, behind the Welshman Matthew Rees, in the seemingly all-conquering Kart Republic chassis. 4 laps now remaining for the Dutchman. Thomas Tembrinke across the line, a 48.8 last time. A 48.6 that time for Artem Severukian. So will the challenge come from the Russian? He sits in position number 7, but he's starting to get close to the time set by Antonelli in superheat number 1. There's Jamie Day. The Dubai O-Plate taking place at the end of January. Home circuit for Jamie. How many times has he taken the Emirates A380? Or maybe the 777 from Dubai, DXB over to Malpensa, Venice, Rome, or for that matter, Paris, Frankfurt, or any of the destinations that Emirates do fly. It does sound like a commercial, doesn't it? And it's probably as monotonous as that for Jamie some of the times. So many flights he's made from the Middle East. He's making the trip over worthwhile this time. He runs in position number 2. In superheat number 2, Alfio Spinner, who was shuffled back earlier on, is starting to recover. The Kart Republic in position number 3 behind Jamie Day. There's Andrei Zhivnov in the Cosmic. We go back to Alex Dunn behind Philip Victorson, ahead of Artem Severukian, who did set the fastest lap of the race a few moments ago. A 48.6 for the Russian. Just behind him, Arvid Lindblad, also for Forza Racing, a 48.7. So the Brit, who was second at the WSK Champions Cup, January 27, to kick off the new season. He runs inside the top 10. Arvid for Forza Racing. A lap and a half now remaining. Just mentioning Lorenzo Patrese after that incident with Pepe Marti. Did manage to restart, as did Pepe for that matter. They are still circulating in 29th and 30th positions respectively. And they'll try and get some points, salvage something out of this and scrape through to the final. 2 of the front runners up until this point this weekend. They come to complete the penultimate lap. Jamie Day sits there in 2nd place, has not really been close enough to challenge TTB, but the problem for the Emirati His Alfio spinner has caught him. They start the final lap of Super Heat number 2 here at Lenato. Alfio spinner, the Sicilian, being hounded by the Russian. The Emirati, the race being led by the Dutchman. Thomas Temperinke looks right, looks left. Jamie, it's now or never for the Emirati. Can he take the win and boost his points going into the final? Brinker puts the FA cart down the middle of the circuit into the hairpin. Surely Jamie will throw it down the inside. Look at Jivnov around the outside. Spinner, will he make space? They all back off the final corner. It's coming up. Spinner thought about it. They won't catch the Dutchman. The checkered flag comes out and Thomas Temperinke wins Super Heat number 2 here this afternoon at South Garda Karting. Jamie second, Alfio third. The Russian Andrei Zhivnov takes fourth by just 1/10 of a second. And Arvid Lindblad, the young Brit, says, I'm here to play for the win this afternoon as well. He's the best of the Forza Racing drivers, coming home in position number 5. Great sportsmanship by Temperinke, Jamie Day and Alfio Spinner. Great to see these talented young junior racers, the best junior kart racers in the world, no doubt. Alex Dunn, speaking of Forza Racing, just getting back to him. Arvid finishing in P5. And Alex, the pole sitter, fading to 10th place at the end. So the setup did not work for Alex. Arvid just got better and better as the race went on. Jamie Day, nice stride from the Emirati, the 342 Vortex-powered Esprit. Jamie Day, P2. And Alfio Spinner third, ahead of Zhivnov, Lindblad, Severukin, fastest lap of the race, remember, for the Russian for Ward Racing. Philip Victorson, Luca Lystra, 8th, made his way to 8th, did the RS kart team driver from Germany. And it was Kaya Sixnellis. He did get a 3-second penalty, so that will change. And Alex Dunn, winner of the Champions Cup to start the season, rounds out the 10. So Antonelli, Thomas Temperinke win the Super Heats for juniors respectively. We take a look at the highlights of Super Heat number 2. That's Patrese going through, unfortunately, the Italian, finishing way down the order. Thomas Temperinke. What was the incident off screen between Epimarchi and Patrese? Temperinke, the Dutchman for Reckon Flynn Motorsport, worked his way ahead of Jamie Day, who was never really just able to get close enough to make the move on the Dutchman. Jamie finishes second, Alfio third, and Thomas wins the 355 Ricky Flynn Motorsport Super Heat number 2. The Winter Cup, all these drivers certainly in contention. But after reviewing all the heats yesterday, Friday, qualifying, and the Super Heats, the question is, who can stop Antonelli?